guys? Welcome back to Undisputed Interviews. Today's guest is UFC lightweight Viacheslav Borshchev. How are you today, sir?
Excuse me?
How are you today, sir?
Living the dream, thank you. How
Yes, sir.
are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So it's funny. The first ever UFC fight I ever watched was your debut in the
No,
UFC. It was
it's funny.
it was your debut again in the UFC, and my uncle's first UFC fight he ever watched was your fight with Nazim Sadikov in New York.
That's interesting.
So when I told
Feel
my
like I'm
uncle,
related to you guys now.
yes, sir. So when I told my uncle, oh, I'm doing an interview with him, he was like, oh, the Russian dude that like I watched in the on the first fight I ever watched. I was like, yeah, that guy. He was like, dang, that's crazy. So me and my uncle's first fighter we ever watched was you,
Say hi to your uncle. What's his name?
Uncle Steven.
Uncle Steven. Hi. Best wishes to you.
So my first question for you today is, how did you discover like the UFC, the MMA scene, and what made you want to become a professional fighter?
So it's funny. I used to live in Moscow at that time, and my daughter just was born.
Mm-hmm.
So and like kickboxing kind of didn't really give me enough money. I was
Yeah.
struggle. I was confused. Like, should I keep fighting or to find a job? Because I kind of, let's say, I finished kind of university. I could be a lawyer back at home. So when I was kind of back and forth, what should I do with my life? But I used to work with the people who were kind of around MMA all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and they step by step, they show me this world. But I couldn't tell I was really excited. But it's funny, it was as stupid and as simple as that. But there was a Conor McGregor fight against Aldo. When
Okay.
I saw this fight, I'm like, oh my gosh, this should get big. I'm like, I realized it's getting big. Like
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
that, just to realize it was downtown in Moscow, in Russia, and like this whole the building, there was a whole, let's say, bar, sport bar, was completely packed by watching the two dudes who's not even Russians. Like the one guy is an Irish guy, other dude is a Brazilian guy,
Brazilian. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's getting big. And I because the guys who I work with, they keep telling me about MMA anyway, and I start thinking, okay, maybe I should try, but I was just I kind of like that. I like, okay, if it's MMA, I should try what's the best. It's UFC. I should go straight to there. So and it was my uncle Pavel. So he supported my idea and he helped me with money and went to USA straight, like straight. I didn't tax anybody. Like I asked a couple of friends who I remember lived around the area in Los Angeles, Sergey Lipinets. So he was the first person who like how to say who I visit in USA, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
sent
yeah.
me. He helped me to understand what's going on, and I went straight to Uriah Faber gym and like asked him, okay, guys, I want to fight. I didn't speak English at that time at all, so that was kind of funny. Um, I gave a Russian hat to Uriah, told like some T-shirts, and I asked him like I told him, look, Uriah, I'm a kickboxing world champion. I want to fight, and he said, okay, let's try, and we start work back and forth. But the reason why I'm stuck in USA, that's actually Uriah, because I didn't really know how hard it is. So I came from with tourist visa, but I didn't know what tourist visa not allowed you to fight in pro to make money.
Yeah, yeah.
So and that was a like hell of a process. So I spent so much time to get into it. So that I like it almost took me a year. So the couple trips, and if the craziest part on the second trip when I make a second trip to USA, I I sold my car, took the last money from the family, came and
Mm-hmm.
in like second month I tore my meniscus.
Wow.
So and I went back to Russia with no money at all, nothing, no almost no hope. So again, I borrowed my money to make a surgery. So I did a surgery, and Uriah texted me and said, like he gave me a really nice offer. So and my grandmom somehow she got the money for me. So when I and that was just enough for ticket. So when I bought
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ticket and I went here to Sacramento, and Uriah took care of everything. He gave me a really good deal. So I was working at his gym, but that was just enough for everything. I even brought my family, and that's how I stuck here. But I think the reason why. So just think about that. Like I came here in USA, start doing MMA in 20 old. I never really wrestled before, never.
Hmm.
So my MMA debut was in 2019 in some Indian reservation against a dude in basketball shorts. We paid him to fight me. So and later for the year we couldn't find any fights. So when pandemic started, that was a crazy time. My wife was pregnant with second baby, so I was trying to make money any way it's possible because everything was shut down. Gym was shut down. That was
Yeah,
scary.
yeah, yeah,
And then finally, fights step by step start happening. So when like I did my real MMA debut in LFA, I won it. The second fight was awesome. I still think it's one of my best MMA fight, but for some reason didn't go my way, which I'm not sure like if I agree with it. But anyway, that was a great fight against Will Stark. That was
hmm,
probably one of my favorite MMA fights because Will Stark is real deal too. There was a good fight.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So and like I kind of was back and forth, but the funniest part. So I debuted in 2019, 1 year no fight, start fighting during pandemic, and at the end of 2021, I made it to UC.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. That was great.
It's funny you bring up the that one fight that was your favorite fight because to be honest, I thought you were gonna say that your fight with Nazim Sadikov would be your favorite fight.
I would say in the fight with Nazim Sadikov, it's a great fight, but I took too much damage, so I won't tell. I really like this fight. Like I even told it to him and in multiple interview. I thought like in the decision wise, like if you take the score, I might even won this fight. But the problem is, like I almost died in a second. Like I don't think I ever been that bad. Like that was
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
bad. Like so bad. Like he beat me so bad in round two. I don't think anybody in my life beat me that bad. He it was bad.
Does your wife and your kids go to your fights?
No, 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 no.
No, no,
Like
no.
so I
What it?
fight my whole life. So me and my wife we kind of like high school sweethearts. So and she
Okay,
never ever been in my fights. Never. Even
really?
once. Yeah.
That's crazy. What did your wife say about that fight afterwards?
I'm not sure if she even watched it. I don't think she watched it. But we bought the house after that. So the house
Uh,
I'm sitting right now is because of Nazim fight. So I guess she happy.
yeah, I mean, obviously that first fight was a draw. Would you want a rematch to see who really is the better fighter?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't think so. Unless it's for good money or like really good money or like for title. I mean,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
we in a
yeah.
good relationship. We kind of become a friends. I don't
Oh,
really
okay.
feel like I don't think it could be better than that to us than draw.
Yeah.
Like because like I really respect him. He's an amazing fighter. And in fact, when you watch his last fight, so what I can tell about him, when I watch him before our fight, I was thinking like it's funny. This guy kind of lucky. Like so he fought against our Afghani guy Ahmad, and the very first spinning kick he froze, he got him right away, and
Yeah.
the whole fight went the wrong way for Ahmad. So so other fight against really good guy. So the so technically, I mean the guy was the fight was kind of back and forth, and so the guy shoot Nazim and did a really weird way, and Nazim cut his arm and choke him because when he so did defense, so he collapsed his arm somehow, like almost accidentally, and
Yeah.
the really good guy couldn't defend it. So Nazim choked, and I thought, okay, that's kind of lucky too. So in the next fight, there was a back and forth, and he cut the guy, and they stopped the fight. And I thought he always lucky. And even with me, I felt like, okay, I was piecing him up, and he cut me once and almost killed me, and he got the draw. And I thought, oh, he lucky. But guess what? The last fight was the same thing. And you know what? What
With
it's telling
Bonfim.
us? He's not lucky. He's just that good. He's just that good.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
It's not lucky. It's not luck. It's just he's that good.
Yeah, his last one with Ismail Bonfim. A lot of people were picking Bonfim to win, and I was like, I think Bonfim had taken a little time off too, but Sadikov hadn't fought since y'all fought like over a year ago. So I think he really showed that he's made improvements. I think
Yeah.
before y'all's fight, he was like a wild man, and now he's a lot more technical, a lot more like experienced in the way he fights.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, that's for sure. Like he's one of the best guy I ever fought for sure.
yeah, I mean, your last fight with Tom Nolan in Australia obviously didn't go your way. What did you? How did you? Have you watched that fight back at all? What did you think of your performance? Like, did Tom Nolan surprise you with anything he did in the fight?
Oh, yeah, actually a little bit. So that was the interesting the tactic he picked up because usually when we watch his fights, he was pushing forward a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
with me he actually did really smart. He started backing up, fire back from distance, and I have a hard time to get in because he's so tall. And as soon as I
Yeah.
get in, he start wrestle. Like that was very smart of him. Smart techniques, smart idea, smart tactic.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were expecting that fight to go with him pushing you or him going forward, you on the back foot, kind of leg kicking when you can. But I think he really like implemented the wrestling a lot better. Did you expect wrestling in that fight, or did you feel it was just going to be a kickboxing fight?
I know a lot of people trying to wrestle me, but I just was expecting from him a lot of pressure. I thought he gonna
Mm-hmm.
like do a lot of pressure. Like I didn't expect him backing up that much.
Yeah.
So that's probably the one thing. So I also didn't expect I would be better wrestler at some point. So if I would knew I can wrestle him first, I would wrestle. I didn't know I can out wrestle him.
Did you at any point in that fight in the corner try to maybe come up with like a new game plan on the fly, like, oh, okay, he's doing something different than what we thought we were gonna do. We try doing this instead of the original game plan, or was it just stick to the game plan and find the openings you can find?
No, we kind of were sick of the game plan. Might be a little bit over trying to knock him out because I clearly was chasing him for too long and like there wasn't enough tank moves, there wasn't enough jab. I was a little bit over focusing to knock him out. I was really hoping I get close enough to just bam, 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 hitting him
Yeah.
hard.
So back to the Uriah favorite thing. Obviously, you trained at Team Alpha Male with the likes of the Ricardo Ramis's, Josh Emmett, Chad Mendez, Fabio Prado, and those type of guys. Ricardo Ramos is fighting tonight against Chepe Mariscal. How do you see that fight going for Ricardo? And do you see a certain way he wins this fight tonight?
So the problem with Ricardo, he stopped really hang out with us too much. So I don't really know about like his condition right now. But I know he's a great fighter, and it's hard to be objective when we kind of like we have a good relationship. So I kind of always on his side anyway.
Yeah,
So it's I cannot really say anything but like let's go, Ricardo, win.
yeah.
Let's
I
get it
want him to
over.
win as well. He's been on. I've done an interview with him. Super nice dude.
Yeah, he's
I
super
I think
nice.
it's gonna be a great fight.
Hope so.
Obviously you also train with Josh Emmett. He's fighting Lerone Murphy. I think UFC like Vegas 106 or something. 5 round main event. How do you see that fight going? Have you seen Emmett in his camp yet? What
I
do you?
just came back. That's why I wasn't sure if I can make it on time. I just finished workout with him.
How do you see him doing in that fight? Do you see certain things Lerone Murphy does that Josh Emmett is able to contradict well?
So with Emmett, it's super hard to say. So that's a guy who pretty much always in good shape. He's super professional. He has some struggle with like injuries, but seems like he fixed most of that. And with Josh, the Josh has a one thing, which is doesn't really matter how a fight goes. He always can kill you, not just
Yeah,
knock you out, like clearly kill you.
yeah,
Like so, that's why
yeah.
I never really worry too much about Josh as long as he's emotionally fine. All I need to make sure he's emotionally fine. Yeah, of course we do drills mechanically, but he has such a big experience. Like he doesn't really need much. Like he just trying to be super responsible. He's super responsible and super professional. I wish UFC treat him a little bit more because he's just super exciting. He always, even like look at his fight against Tapuri and any other fights.
I
He
was
gave
there.
Yeah, Tapuri
I was
like he
there.
gave
It
a
was an amazing
biggest
fight.
like he gave a best fight to Tapuria, like, best resistance for
Yeah.
like at least last five fights which Tapuria had. So I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm always know, doesn't matter how a fight goes. I always know Josh always have a chance. All he needs just land one of these his bombs.
Yeah. I mean, I was there at UFC Jacksonville. That was the first UFC event I ever went to. I'm a big Josh Emmett fan. I love Josh Emmett. Um, yeah, you said that the injury thing, is that why he has been out of the octagon since for over a
Yeah,
year? He was dealing with the injury.
guys, like this guy, he's built different. I mean, like he fought with like torn ACL, like his hips used to be fucked up. Like I think when he fought uh Tapuria, his hip was off, really off.
Oh, really?
He Yeah, like he was really bad. Like he always fought, like he used to be injured forever, like really bad injuries, and he never stopped. He still, and like he never ruined anything. He still always gave a great fights. Always, like when, even when he lost, it's always exciting to watch. So he's very exciting, very powerful guy. And now it seems like he fixed everything. So now he's
Yeah.
healthy. So it's dangerous. He's always dangerous, but when he's healthy, he-
I mean, I feel like a lot of people are excited to see Josh Emmett back, considering what he did to Bryce Mitchell his last time out. He almost actually killed somebody, like
that's why
almost.
I wasn't that mad when Bryce Mitchell said something stupid. So I know I get some
Yeah, I
punches from
think you
Josh
know. I
too.
think we can blame Josh Emmett for that one a little
Yeah.
bit. You know, maybe did a little too much damage to the brain. But I
Yeah.
mean, Bryce Mitchell is now fighting Jean Silva, so he's gonna
Yeah,
get a
no,
lot
I
more.
mean, I just everybody, when you're on camera from time to time can say some stupid shit. I don't think he's really stupid. Like that's we never know. Like he seems like very nice guy to me. I like. I won't blame him. Like I mean, of course, everybody can say something stupid from time to time, but I hope he did his. Like I hope he will learn something.
Were you offended when he said that, or you just like it's none of my business?
I mean, I'm trying to stay away from any political thing, all of this stuff. But to
Yeah,
me, as a Russian, like there is no questionable. Like Hitler is like it's a one of the biggest evils. So regardless, if you take any historical person, you can find good side and bad side.
that's right. Yeah,
Like in fact, like Hitler was one of the first to start protecting the animals. Nobody knows this. Like the like technically the one of the first guy who started protecting animal rights was a Hitler. But the problem is like so like if you take like just saying like the biggest evil in the world, like and you start looking at that, it would be like Judah or like Hitler. Like I mean, so if I pronounce it correctly, who betrayed Jesus? I can pronounce it correctly. The guy who betrayed Jesus. We call Iuda in Russian. How it calls in
yeah.
English? Judah.
I have no clue. I'm not really into
You
the.
don't know Bible. Okay, anyway.
No,
So
no,
the
no,
guy who
no.
betrayed Jesus and Hitler. I mean, that's probably to the most as it's a simple to realize. Of course, if you dug deep, like who's good, who's bad, like it's always complicated. But
Yeah,
to us, it's like I mean, to me as a Russian, it's super simple. Like Hitler is evil, so that's why there's no way I'm going fish to him. No way.
I mean, I can't disagree. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously you're in the lightweight division. What are your thoughts on the current landscape of the lightweight division with the likes of Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira, Ilya Topuria moving up, Gaethje, Islam, all of those guys? And do you feel the lightweight division is maybe like the best it's ever been, or what like the most competitive it's ever been at its current state?
It's hard to say which is most comparative. It seems super comparative to me, at least,
Yeah,
because I never realized so
yeah,
MMA it's so hard. Like MMA, it's really tough sport, and new generation is insane. They can wrestle, they can fight, they can do everything. They know grappling, they know jiu-jitsu. It's like it's really tough game. There's no jokes at all. It's not like maybe guys like Pereira, it's probably the last generation who just super good of something, one
and not
thing,
too good at the other.
yeah, and it can and still can keep that high. So that's why Pereira one of the greatest fighter to me, just because like he has such a big leaks, some such a big gaps and something,
Yeah,
but but he's just so good of one thing and he does it really well. So and also it's a less and less dogs in the game like Merab or wherever like the who just the like the guys who just made themselves like it's less and less. Now it's a new generation who's could be even from pretty wealthy families. Like they have enough knowledge. They go straight to the great gym, and they already like have a coaches who know everything, have enough experience.
yeah.
So it's getting harder and harder. It doesn't matter which weight class, but 155 just probably if you take a numbers, it's probably most of people in the weight class, right? Probably
I think so. There's a lot of guys. There's a
yeah. So
lot.
that's as simple as that. It's just biggest number of most competitive. That's why because more people in this weight class.
Yeah. Like obviously with some of you guys being at lightweight, are you looking to come back in the octagon soon? I mean, if we're going based off your last couple fights, you're pretty active, like maybe fighting every 4 or 5 months. Is there
Oh
you have a
yeah, yeah,
time
for
frame?
sure, for sure. Yeah, I would like. I just not sure if you still let me. Like, uh, I mean, a lot of people was happy with my performance. They told me like that was great. That was an exciting fight. They love
Mm-hmm.
it. But I'm not sure if you can be back in octagon right away if you keep losing. So I need to I need to win to
Well,
make sure they keep me fighting.
I mean, you're 1-1 your last two, so I don't think I mean me personally, like if it's me, I think you should be cool to fight. I mean, if we're going based off your last couple fights, you've won more than you've lost. You see what I'm saying?
I see, but I mean, I'll try. I'll try. I love it. I love it. So it's funny because I have some struggles for a while. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
sure. Like it was complicated. I have a family. Like I have
Yeah,
responsibility. I getting old. So like Tom Nolan living almost as much as I'm fighting. So so my fighting as much as long as he living. So my first
yeah,
fight
yeah,
was in
yeah.
2002, and he's 24. So and it's weird because I don't feel young. I probably strongest than I ever been. Like I'm in
Mm-hmm.
great shape. I'm strong. I'm not getting tired. I feel great. But but at the same time, like ah, it's this long time. Like I'm fighting a long time. So but now I feel fresh again. I feel like it's challenged me and I love it. So I hope I'm still good business and I gonna prove it soon.
I mean, do you look at the roster and you look at like, oh, maybe I want to fight a Diego Ferreira or a Grudem Kudeladze? Is there somebody that you like? Oh, this could be a good next opponent for me that could give me an exciting fight and could really like help me evolve my game.
No, I'm super focusing on my own skills
Mm-hmm.
and my game plan is simple. So I want to be as good to climb on top straight. Doesn't matter who I'm fighting at. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to. For now, I just listen to UFC. UFC know better what they need to like promote me to promote like UFC to do better for everybody. I know UFC know what they're doing.
Yes,
So
sir.
Sean is real deal. That's why he's matchmaker in our weight class. So I'm trust him. Whatever he thinks good for us, I'm down. So in my it's actually easy from me. All I need to do take care of my own skills to make sure I can fight anybody. So that's simple.
I agree. I feel some people. I know some fighters are like that. They would rather kind of focus on their own skills than focus on who they want to fight next.
Just think about that. Like when you chasing a title, like I'm not chasing title right now, but when people chasing a title, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think they really care who they're gonna fight. They
That's
need a
true.
title, right? So it's not personal to me. It's like I don't hate anybody straight who are fighting. I feel nice about everybody, even Chase Cooper doesn't matter. I like all of them. They're nice guys. They
Yeah.
nice guys. They like if they're not talking shit about me, about my people or whatever. Like I don't care. Like it's a business, of course. We
Yeah.
jump in your business to whoop my ass, my business whoop your ass. It's super simple, simple as
Yes,
that.
sir.
As soon as we're done, actually, in fact, Tom Nolan he texted me after fight and he invited me to the bar, and I went there. I give a
Yes.
hug to his family. I met his
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
Like so, it's cool. Like why would be mad? Same with Nazim. You have seen it. We hang out with Nazim after fight. Like why would be mad? So
Yeah.
we're cool friends.
Yeah. It's funny you bring up Chase Hooper. He's fighting Jim Miller in Miami UFC 314. What is your prediction for that fight? How do you see that going?
Oh, I don't know. I need to look at more about this guys. So I need to look more. So I kind of off of that. I was super over focusing on myself and my team guys. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I need to watch more fights.
Me personally, I love Chase Hooper. I like Chase Hooper. I think he has a good chance. But
I mean, he's improved a lot. So he
he
keep
has.
improving.
That's
Like
true.
so,
I mean, even 2 years ago when he fought Steve Garcia to now, it's wow, some like major improvements.
for sure. We wish
Um,
him the best. Mhm.
what was your time in Australia like before the fight, after the fight? Did like what did you were you so focused in Australia of training that you didn't really go
So
out,
no,
or
no,
did
no.
you?
I came there earlier to
Uh huh.
get used to the time and all this stuff. So Australia is amazing. I mean, at least Sydney, amazing. It looks like healthy people, good food, nice weather, clean, uh, like safe. You feel safe. I haven't met that many animals which trying to kill me, so that was fun. That was good part. And I also hang out with Thompson family. Like we have a guy. Our teammates Isaac Thompson. I hope
Mm-hmm.
he will be in UFC soon. And his mom and dad, Jade and Floyd, they let me stay, me and all my crew stay
Yeah.
in his house.
Wow.
So yeah, that was awesome. So we like to that was part frustrating part. I did everything perfect. I prepared right. I was healthy. So I felt amazing before the fight. So that's why I was so upset right after the fight. What I they didn't go my way how I
Mm-hmm.
expected, because like there's no excuses. Everything was perfect. So
Yeah,
that was cool. I felt amazing. And I felt amazing about Australia too. Only one part bad about Australia is taxes. Anything else is great.
that's true. I've heard a lot of fighters say that the taxes there are really bad. But I have one last question for you. Do you have a message to all your fans, all your supporters that followed you throughout your kickboxing career all the way to the UFC, and what can they expect from Visha Borshchev in 2025?
So I definitely won't quit. So don't worry. You
Mm-hmm.
guys don't quit either. Don't
Yes,
quit on
sir.
me. Don't quit on yourself. Keep it up.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining Undisputed Interviews. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Sure. Have a best son.
You, sir. Have a nice day.
You too.